You're watching Power Breakfast right on Citizen TV, and we now want to wrap up our news review this morning by talking some politics. Yes, and let's start off with Jubilee. And we are seeing quite a number of leaders asking Martha Karua, the NARC Kenya leader, and Peter Kenneth to wind up their parties if at all they support Uhuru Kenyatta. Of course, Peter Kenneth has already clarified that he is not the owner of the Kenya National Congress, and that he has already written to the Registrar of Political Parties handing in his resignation from KNC. And so he says he'll be in Jubilee and he doesn't need to dissolve any party. But NARC Kenya is a... we have not seen anywhere where Martha Karua has indicated her intention to dissolve the party. Yet, one of the MPs from Jubilee, I think it was Kanini Kega, has given them 2 weeks to do exactly that. If at all they support President Uhuru Kenyatta, is that the way to go? Bwana Yusuf Hassan.
No, I think Martha Karua or any other person has a democratic right to belong to whatever political party. Our constitution allows that. So it's up to her if she feels that she wants to come and support President Uhuru Kenyatta, and she has calculated that the best options for her is to join Jubilee, then well and good, and we would certainly welcome that. But we're in a democratic environment in which you can choose whichever party you want to go, and I don't think I as a member of parliament or a politician would be bothered to give ultimatums to another person in another political party, because those are free choices that we have to make on our own and reach conclusions that would serve our own political ambition and loyalties.
Dr. Kiamba, of course, I don't know about your opinion when it comes to politics, but do you think it serves Martha Karua her best interest to remain in NARC Kenya or to move to Jubilee and dissolve her party?
If she wants to support the president, then definitely a move over would be the best option. However, I'm wondering about maybe the rest of the supporters in that particular political party, whether they would wish to move with her. Because that means basically leaving not only her constituents, but those within the party, you know, somewhat without any particular direction. So I think she needs to consult. In as much as we talk about her moving or maybe her need to move to one particular party, she needs to go back and consult her constituents.
Yes, and of course, before we come to the Deputy Governor, you worked with Martha Karua before in NARC Kenya. Do you think she would just wake up one day and dissolve NARC Kenya and move to Jubilee?
I think, Fred, Martha is one of those brilliant personalities you'll ever get in this country. And I must say that I wish her well as she runs for governor for Kirinyaga. And I'll also say without fear of contradiction, that is one of the best governors Kirinyaga would ever get. But if I were to advise Martha, I think the move she has taken is a brilliant move. Because, let me not lie to you, the nominations for Jubilee will be what I would actually call a kichinjio, because you'll get very serious candidates, very credible, but only one is going to be on the ballot. So Martha has a brilliant strategy where, and what she ought to do is that she does not need to join Jubilee, but she needs to hold a national delegates conference for NARC Kenya. Then the delegates endorse that for purposes of supporting the presidential candidate, because Martha will not be running, then they support Uhuru Kenyatta. That automatically will be an alternative party within Central. Where, because I can tell you for a fact, you find, for instance, the people who are running for governor, you have Waiguru, who currently is very well placed in terms of resources. And then you have the sitting governor. So I can tell you for a fact that will be a battle of the titans. So of course, the person who loses then would be very offended. And quietly would direct their supporters to vote for the alternative. Who will be the alternative? Of course, Martha Karua. Now, that would be replicated in a number of constituencies within Central. And that is the reason why you're seeing, even in Rift Valley, you have Kanu as an alternative. And that's why you're seeing there's a serious tussle between the president, the deputy president, and Gideon Moi. You are finding in Rift Valley, you have the Mashinani party. So I can tell you for a fact, Martha is well placed if she runs on a NARC Kenya ticket as opposed to joining Jubilee.
Yes.
And you remember Uhuru Kenyatta himself, when he was the official leader of opposition, and he got very good votes. He posted very serious votes as against Kibaki. And people knew that, again, he was going to run. What did he do? He realized that the entire central Kenya, the candidate for purposes of re-election was Kibaki. What did he do? He said, no, I'm not going to run for president. I'm not going to dissolve KANU, but I will work to support the president under the PNU banner.
Yes.
And that is how he outrightly inherited the central vote.
Yes.
So Martha has a brilliant strategy. I think she should continue with that particular strategy and support Uhuru's re-election as she gets the governor of Kirinyaga.
What about Peter Kenneth? Because now he has decided to resign from KNC. Yes, and he's already saying, I'm going to Jubilee. Of course, he's running probably to try and sit Kidero and Bwana Mweke here. Do you think, now I hope you will just step back from code and take a look at Peter Kenneth as a candidate, as a politician, and say, do you think what he has done is right by leaving KNC and actually moving to Jubilee, as opposed to Martha Karua staying in Kenya?
Can I just continue expounding on my position, because now it's as regards Peter Kenneth. Now, I think the strategy that Martha has used in Kirinyaga, because it is Kirinyaga, then it's a brilliant strategy. Now that you cannot do it in Nairobi.
Yes.
Here in Nairobi, you are either part of either coalition. So you're either in Jubilee or you are in CORD. And I think, again, Peter Kenneth, the fact that he said he's not the owner of the party. He was just elected the party leader. So the fact that he has resigned as a party leader and subsequently joined the Jubilee, then he cannot be pushed to be told dissolve KNC. I think the fact that he is now a member of Jubilee gives him a serious stepping stone towards winning the governor of Nairobi.
Does it because he's yet to declare that it's Nairobi?
It is. Let me tell you, Fred.
Does it now make it clear that he's running in Nairobi?
When he walks like a duck, when it looks like a duck, when it quacks like a duck, it is definitely a duck. I can tell you for a fact that Peter Kenneth is running for Nairobi. And I've just seen there are some new opinion polls done last week, and already even before he declares that it is Nairobi, they are saying he has 19%.
And who's leading in those polls?
Of course, Kidero is leading.
Who commissioned the polls?
I saw it was published by the Star, so I don't know who commissioned. We know that Kidero definitely is a shareholder of the Star, so we don't know whether it is him.
Have you commissioned any polls?
No, we've not commissioned any polls.
So,
but you're aware of the polls he's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, there's been maybe 3 or 4 polls that have been taken in the last 6 months, and we've been leading in all of them, all by different independent organizations. So we can't sit here and begin to tell you about what the people think. But on Martha Karua and Peter Kenneth, I'll start with Martha. I'm kind of surprised by the move she has taken, because Martha is a politician with very good standing, extremely principled, and has a lot of experience in politics. I think she's now almost doing 25 years. Martha she's made a decision in which she's the underdog. It's going to benefit the president, because it's another leader on the president's side. She has said she's supporting the president, so that's a plus for him. But for Martha herself as an individual and her political career, I'm wondering where she's going with this, because Jubilee has made it very clear that either you're with us or you're against us. So if you're not in Jubilee, we are not accepting coalitions. We're not accepting people who say, you'll put my small picture down here and Uhuru's picture up there and say that I'm on my own party and I'm supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. No, they've made it very clear. So Jubilee has its campaign team made of all Jubilee members in every corner of the country. You saw they did that the other day at Bomas of Kenya. And they're going to campaign viciously against anybody who is not in Jubilee.
Yes.
So if Martha is going to stand on a NARC Kenya ticket, she should be prepared. Even if she's going on podium saying Uhuru for president, she should be prepared to be campaigned against.
Because the president
completely
will not return the favor.
No, he will not return the favor. They've made it very clear that either you're with us or you're against us.
Because I'm imagining if at all President Kenyatta goes to Kirinyaga to to campaign for the governor or whoever.
He will campaign for the Jubilee candidate.
Of course.
And he will not campaign for Martha at all, but Martha will be campaigning for him. So she's getting a raw deal, and that's why I'm beginning to wonder, given her experience and her principles, I'm beginning to wonder what her game plan is, because she's not going to get elected. They're going to campaign against her the same way that campaign against a court candidate in Kirinyaga.
Yes. Fred, let me tell you that Martha does not want the president to campaign for her. And I can tell you, if you remember the machinery for TNA, and the Nyeri governor ran on a GNU ticket, and the president went to Nyeri and told the Nyerians, vote for the TNA candidate, and he outrightly said that you do a 6-piece suit all over the country. So what Martha is doing is not for the president to come and campaign for Martha, and Martha is aware that there will be a Jubilee candidate, and definitely the president will support the Jubilee candidate. What Martha is saying that give me a chance to be able to serve you as the people of Kirinyaga on my NAK Kenya ticket. However, I am supporting the president I'm supporting Uhuru Kenyatta for president. So I can tell you for a fact, the president will go on the ground, but depending on how Martha would have done her campaigns, she would definitely win against the Jubilee candidate.
So Brian wasn't listening. He was just thinking about how he was going to respond. That's why he interrupted. 2013 is very different, Brian, than 2017. In 2013, GNU was a coalition partner of TNA. Yeah, and then they agreed coalitions. Now they've made it very clear. There's one animal called Jubilee. We are not a coalition. We're a party. If you want anything to do with Jubilee, fold and come to us.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll have nothing to do.
I've seen even in Meru, leaders are telling Munya to do the same with this PNU.
Yes, it's completely different. It's going to be an uphill task. Now on Peter Kenneth and Nairobi, and I'm going to be objective, not because you asked me to, just because I'm always objective. It's very clear what his game plan is. Peter Kenneth has no real desire to be a governor of anywhere. Peter Kenneth wants to be a president of Kenya. And those who know him know that ambition very, very clearly. So to be a governor where he wants to step in is just because he has realized that 2017 is not his year to be president, but he needs to be somewhere. So he's looking for a stepping stone. He has probably no vision for wherever he's going to run for governor. He has probably no ideas on what he wants to do. His only idea is, where can I be that will springboard me to be a president? And that's why Peter Kenneth is not dissolving KNC. Don't let anybody lie to you that KNC is not Peter Kenneth. It's his. He's just now going to give it to a caretaker, right? And I'll give you a good example because there's precedence. He's going to give it to a caretaker. He's going to fool the Jubilee system, to pretend he's with them to get what he wants for now. And he doesn't want it for that, he just wants it for 2022. Then in 2022, he's going to go back, pick up his party and run. It's the exact same thing that Charity Ngilu did. When Charity became minister, she said, now I've resigned from NAK and I'm going here. And she gave it to Kiema Kilonzo. It was just a placeholder. It's a plan B. And as soon as she got fired from the Jubilee government, she went back right to her party and she's the party leader again. So Peter Kenneth is about 2022. Mark my words, he's running for president against William Ruto in 2022. He just needs
I'm busy going through the paper because I saw a story where he denied exactly what you're saying. He says, and he's not...
Listen to his words. Peter is very clever. Listen to his words. He said, I support the deputy president. He didn't say for what. He said he's the deputy president, I respect that, and I support the deputy president. So he's supporting the deputy president on probably the deputy president campaigning for Amina Mohammed, I don't know. But he never said I support the deputy president for president in 2022, because he doesn't.
That story, we have it on Citizen TV, and it's also on the Standard page 10, where Mr. Kenneth says, whatever succession agenda Jubilee Party has, I am not part of it. Yes? Insisting that his relationship with the Deputy President, William Ruto, is not sour as it is perceived. Of course, he says he is not a Jubilee project.
Now, and listen to those words very carefully. He says, whatever succession plan Jubilee has, I'm not part of it. And he's right. He's not part of a Jubilee succession plan. He's going to run for president on KNC in 2022, not on Jubilee. So he's not part of that Jubilee succession plan for 2022. He wants to be a governor on a Jubilee ticket for 2017. But 2022, Peter Kenneth, KNC, is running for president.
A very interesting opinion there. Do you see any semblance of reality?
Yes, quite a bit of reality. But we can only wait until 2022. Yes.
2022 politics is definitely hot for you guys, and Jubilee has a problem there now with the entry of Peter Kenneth. Now you have to start denying the fact before the day.
Well, I mean, we've not even approached 2017. I'm surprised that we're spending a lot of energy and time on 2022.
It was a Jubilee agenda.
Yeah, let me say that Peter Kenneth has now crossed the Rubicon. He has not only expressed an interest to run as a governor for Nairobi, but he's also left his party and has joined Jubilee. And I think one of the things that we're missing in this discussion is the fact that Jubilee is now becoming the most attractive party to be on. We have Martha Karua, who has...
she's supporting Uhuru Kenyatta, but not
but
moving to
it is just good enough for me that she is not supporting the opposition. She has abandoned the opposition. She is supporting Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. Peter Kenneth is doing the same. We are a party that is now growing to bring in large numbers of Kenyans on board into the same basket. And I think that is something that clearly indicates where we are heading in terms of the elections 2017. I would say that the arrival of Peter Kenneth onto the Jubilee campaign, gubernatorial campaign, is going to enliven, it is going to energize, and it's going to shake up the politics of Nairobi. And I don't think Mr. Kidero is going to sit comfortably. I hear that these figures that he's been thrown around is that at the moment Kidero does not have a major opposition. Whom is he competing? Because we haven't decided on our candidates. I think he should be more worried, because when a clear candidate comes out of the Jubilee park, then he would be able to have an opinion poll.
But Fred,
although opinion polls have been discredited, as you can see in the United States,
that's fine. But Freddy,
with the Trump-Clinton contest.
See, I'm worried about consistency, because as leaders also, sometimes we have to be consistent and true. Now, when I sit here with my friend every Monday, Yusuf Hassan, right? 8 weeks ago, he sat here and said, Dennis Waweru's candidature is going to shake Nairobi politics. He's our candidate. He's going to beat you. 6 weeks ago, he said, Sakaja's politics is now come. He's going to shake Nairobi. He's our candidate, and we are going to teach you a lesson. He's coming like a tsunami. 4 weeks ago, he said, Eugene Wamalwa, now he's here. He's our messiah. He's the Jubilee candidate. We are going to shake all of you. 2 weeks ago, he was on somebody else. Now today, he's on Peter Kenneth. I mean, every 2 weeks, it's somebody different.
That is absolutely not true.
How many tsunamis do you have?
I don't think the deputy governor is talking about the truth. I have never discussed an individual candidate in the Jubilee. What I have said is that we welcome all of them. Peter Kenneth is welcome. Dennis Waweru is welcome. Sakaja is welcome. Sonko is welcome. Bishop Wanjiru is welcome. This is the Jubilee leadership contest here in Nairobi. And we welcome everyone who wants to run, and we will choose the best candidate. Unfortunately for CORD, CORD does not have any democratic contest in Nairobi. They have already decided the sitting governor is the right person for that job. So there is not a democratic...
Not necessarily.
There is no democratic process.
But I need for us to take a break.
There is no debate in a democracy to decide what kind of leadership. We are going through a major exercise, a major democratic exercise. We are popularizing our party and our candidates. And then we will choose the right candidate out of this number of contestants.
I'll ask you to hold that thought, because we need to take a break. We need to take a break. When we return, I'll give you a chance to comment on this. Plus what the deputy governor said about Peter Kenneth not necessarily having any agenda for as governor, only once as being president. But that when we return, because we'll also be talking about the fights within the Wiper party. We understand that Johnston Muthama and the party leader Kalonzo Musyoka are not seeing eye to eye. You'll be explaining that to us when Power Breakfast returns.